Alright, green lights go. Alright. Good Sunday afternoon, ladies. Welcome to Home Ec 514, Baking Instruction and Theory and Decoration Presentation. I'm Will Bryant. As you know, you signed up for the class, so I'll be your professor this evening. Alright, we got a pretty simple lesson today. Our objective is clear. We're going to list the tools and supplies needed to ice and decorate a cupcake that's bakery quality in less than 2 minutes. Alright, so I know you're thinking this may be a little simple of a task for you, but simple kitchen skills cannot be underestimated. They can come in very handy in the future, especially if you have a child. One day that child is probably going to need something for a bake sale or a function in school, and what's better than sending him out with a beautifully decorated cupcake? That's going to come in very handy and can make your kid very popular one day. Anyway, has anybody here ever iced cupcakes before? Alright, do you feel comfortable in your skill? Do you think there's anything you can improve?
I'm good.
You're good, okay. Alright, any particular reason you made cupcakes? Was it just to have them around the house, or were you taking them to a function?
Just to have them.
Just to have them, okay. Well, this time we're going to make it where you can take them somewhere and be proud of your work. So anyway, icing the cupcake is not a terribly difficult task. You don't need but a couple tools and a few things. First of all, you're going to have cupcakes, but we'll get to that when we actually do it. You'll need your butter knife, which is the best tool for applying your icing to the cupcake. Very simple. Every household has one, not a problem. For our supplies, obviously you're going to need cupcakes, which in this case we're going to have ready-made cupcakes. You're going to need your icing. You always want to choose an icing flavor that complements the taste of your cupcake. In this instance, we have devil's food or chocolate cupcakes, and the cream cheese icing that we're going to be applying later complements this taste very well. They go together. For instance, you wouldn't want to make a devil's food cupcake and use strawberry icing. Those two flavors don't complement each other. So you just want to pick something that makes sense. Alright. Now, before you get to icing your cupcakes, you want to make sure they've been cooled thoroughly. You don't want to take them straight out of the oven and then start to apply the icing to them, because you're going to wind up with a drippy mess. The heat consistency has to be correct for this approach to work. They have to be thoroughly cool. Overly cool is not a problem, but you want to make sure you keep them fresh. If you're going to make them ahead of time like we did in this instance, you want to keep them stored in an airtight container so they still come out with that same day appeal, but that they're ready to apply the icing to it at any point in time. Now, as you notice, we also have another tool here. This is a simple decoration. We just have regular rainbow sprinkles. Just something to liven up the cupcake. And these should be applied to the top of the cupcake once you've iced it. I guess you could apply them in the other direction, but we're going to put them on the top. That's how we want to ice our cupcakes. Alrighty. And as I mentioned before, it can take no more than 2 minutes to decorate a cupcake. That's your goal. You don't want to spend a lot of time on it, as it is a simple device. But you want to go ahead and make it good. So a 2-minute time limit is perfect for getting that done. Alright. So in conclusion, you just want to remember that you shouldn't take these simple kitchen skills for granted. You want to use these and have these things to help you build a new foundation for a better cooking life. And every item that you're going to use, which isn't a lot, mostly just your butter knife, like I said, but it has a simple and pure function. It's there, it applies the icing, and it's also used for decoration. And once we get into the skill, you'll see how that can actually really come in handy for you. Learning to do a task like this, like I said, it can really set you apart. It can come in handy. Think of the next function you go to. Maybe you're going to a party, even if it's for adults. You know, a dinner party, you ask to bring a dessert. You can bring your perfectly iced cupcake. Just blow everybody away. It'll be fantastic. It'll be great. Anyway, alright, well, we're getting down to the end of the class here. Anyway, so as you know, there will be an evaluation today. We just have a real simple quiz here that you're going to need to take to prove that you understand what we've talked about. Does anybody have any questions before we get to that point? Is everybody clear on what we've covered today? No questions?
Exactly how much icing do you put on the cookie?
Well, and that's a good question. We'll cover that when we actually get to the skill. But just for a general reference, you just want a small dab, probably between the size of $1 and $1/2. Not a whole lot. It all depends on what you're doing. If you're going for a highly decorated cupcake, you'll want more. The simpler design, you'll just want a little bit, just enough to cover it, with a decent layer about that thick. It also depends on your taste and the taste of the people that you're feeding it to at the time. Good question, thank you. Alright, here's your assessments. Yeah. Here's your assessments. Simple directions at the top. Each question below has one correct answer. Choose the answer that best matches the following question. Circle the letter that corresponds with your answer choice. And just write your name up at the top right-hand corner up there. And if you have any questions, let me know. And we're going to go ahead and start that task. So when you're done, just hand your paper in to me, and we'll grade them and see how you did. What's that? Keep your answers to yourself. Okay, you can hold the paper, that's fine. I understand. He's a young student, but he's learning. That's all that matters. Okay, thank you. Alright, let's pull my answer key. I don't want to let it see that. My ink pen, thank you. Alright, let's see.
What's your name?
Correct. Number 2, correct.
I'm
3
slow.
is correct. Number 4 is correct. And number 5 is correct. Alright, thank you. Let's grade this one here, see how you did. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, well, they're all correct. And just for clarification, we're going to go over the answers to make sure you guys understand. We're going to review the test. Question number 1. When choosing an icing flavor for your cupcakes, you want to choose a flavor that complements the cake flavor. That was fairly straightforward there. The best tool to apply the icing to a cupcake, this can be tricky. In some other situations, you might use a spatula, which was answer number D. But in this particular scenario, we're going to go with B, which is butter knife. Everybody got that right. Icing should be applied to cupcakes that have been thoroughly cooled. I guess you could refrigerate them, but that's not what we're going for. We want to keep them at room temperature, so cool would be the correct response. Decorations should be applied to the top of the cupcake. Answer A was correct. And number 5, a properly decorated cupcake should take no more than 20 minutes to decorate. The appropriate response was T. I think we discovered that, as we go. We wanted enough time to do it right, but not so much time that it detracts from what we're doing. Anyway. Alright, I thank you guys for your time, and next week we're actually going to move into the skill of actually icing the cupcake. Thank you. Have a good evening. We'll see you next week.